The Mutilator, 1985 review on the 80s slasher.
They managed to capture a good amount of suspense and horror in this movie.
Yeah, they did pretty good with the gore and whatnot.
The gore is really good. Definitely a watchable movie.
So it starts off with a bastard child.
Let's just say sum up the plot. Yeah, it's about.
Yeah, he's cleaning the rifles.
It's not a bastard child. Shut the hell up.
He accidentally shoots his mom. The dad comes home, and he's like a total psychotic dad, and he just like drags the wife's body to like the liquor cabinet.
The kid accidentally kills his mom,
and then he pours a drink while the cops come, and he gives her a sip.
Instead of killing the little boy, he goes into a drunken stupor until the kid's in his 20s.
So that just sums it up, and then he finally gives him a call out of the blue, and he's like at a bar with like his college friends. It's all boring.
Hey.
He's like, "Hey, I trust you now. So come to the condo, even though it's just
I'm ready to kill you.
Even though it's just a gimmick to I'm ready to kill you now." Exactly. He's just ready to kill
the mutilator.
He's like, "I'm ready to mutilate you now. You can come lock up the."
So it's watchable. Check it out, it's on YouTube, a bunch of uploads of it.
So then they're on their way there, and it's like the stop before the stop.
It's like a group of 6, and it's like, yeah, the stop before the final destination.
And it's like a black guy, and you think he's like an Arab at first, but then once he talks, you know it's a black guy.
And then, like, the head douchebag, who's the most outgoing in the group, like, talks like...
About the senior discount, it's retarded. I'm not even gonna get into it.
There's so many what the fuck moments in this movie.
Where you're like,
everyone
what the
knows.
fuck? And you just wanna, like, fast forward because you're, like, falling asleep.
Yeah, when he gets home, the dad gets home and sees the mom's dead body, he tries to give her, like, a shot of, like, brandy.
Oh, wow, we are way past it.
Did you mention
we're
it?
Past,
no, I know we're past it,
idiot.
I'm just saying.
I mentioned it. He's psychotic. I mentioned it.
Just shut up.
Just shut up. Okay, so...
bottom line, they only get, like, 2 sixers for, like, 6 people.
Yeah, so they leave with 2 sixers for, like, 6 people. 2 beers apiece.
Of course, you're just repeating me and saying
yeah, because you repeated me 2 seconds ago. Alright, so freaking they show up there, and it's like retarded. Like, the door's open like they've been broken into, but really it's just a movie. And it's just to set the eerie principle of, ooh, what's gonna happen? And it's just all alcohol bottles.
Yeah, the dad's just been getting wasted all summer.
And then they don't even do anything. They're like, oh, let's clean it up. Even though, like, the plan was go there and throw a party, and they just throw a party with, like, 2 sixers of light beer. And then actually clean up the house.
So it's all filler of the couples, and she's like, no, here's another what the fuck moment. They find a picture of, like, supposedly the dad mutilated his friend in a boating accident, and they have a picture of him, like, dying, and it's, like, framed up in the...
Oh yeah, that part's hilarious.
You're like, okay.
It's like right when they show up and they're cleaning alcohol bottles, and they're like, what is this? And it's like a guy framed all bleeding and dying.
Anyway, so the mutilator's lurking in the garage.
Oh yeah, the whole time he's just in like the garage, like in a peephole.
And like they're showing POV shots of him like the whole night of like watching the freaking couples.
Just planning his next mutilation.
And you're like, that's Ricky Tan.
Oh yeah, when
that's a midget in a bathrobe.
He puts his hands up through the water and he like starts to bring her
like,
down.
That's
like
Jason. That's not the mutilator. Like how is that his first death? He drowns the girl.
Like the mutilator.
They show tits for like 2 seconds.
Like he's a good swimmer. He's psychotic.
And the power drills Blondie as the next death scene. That's a dope death scene.
Good effects.
Yeah, the 80s prosthetics.
Before they get into the 90s.
It's mid-80s, so it learned from all the early 80s slashers, and they did some good shit. It was a really good job on the gore. Definitely worth watching for that alone, but be aware of all the filler and the dark moments of POV.
The
mutilator, he doesn't even say one word the whole movie.
It's one of those ones you could walk away during a boring part and make a sandwich and come back and it's still boring. It's one of those.
And then he chops off the cop's head. That part's
tight. I like halfway saw it. Had one eye closed.
Yeah, and it's fucking fag tonight.
Oh wow.
And then they play a fucking drinking game. He's like, alright, we all get a beer. Emphasis on a beer.
And it's just like just a total movie scene. They're like playing Monopoly too. After
And then they
clean up
play
his-
like hide and go seek literally for 10 minutes of filler, like halfway through the movie.
That's embarrassing.
Like, are you serious?
Yeah, that's definitely embarrassing.
No, I'm serious. They literally play hide and go seek, and they're all like in their mid-20s.
And then they show the Mutilator with
Like,
the
that's the best
freaking-
drinking game you could come up with. Like, there's
show
not
the
a deck of
Mutilator.
cards for
You
10
know that
second
painting,
flushes or
you know
something.
that painting of the farm lady and the guy, and he's got the pitchfork? The Mutilator's got one of those in his condo, and you're like, what the hell does he got one of those in his condo for?
It's because there's a bunch he doesn't have for hay. He's got a freaking pitchfork in the freaking
Yeah, why does he got it?
Yeah, because
So
there's
he
so many.
so he can mutilate people.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of douchebags on the beach. He's got to mutilate.
Yeah, a bunch of people, you know those douchebags with beards? Those are the people he wants to mutilate. Kind of like JBM.
Alright,
That was a low blow.
I got no comment to that. They even do like a Charlie Chaplin like upbeat.
Oh, that part
for
was,
no
oh
reason.
yeah, it was hardcore, like a comedy like aspect. The chick's like, hey, I'll show you something. Like, she's talking about her boobs. And then she's like, you better clean up the house. And he like cleans up the room, does some stuff.
It's
And
like
it's like a fast forward.
It's like POV shots up the butt of like the couples on the beach, like trying to talk about the stars
It's like
or trying to like
90%
make out.
filler. And then like 10% comedy.
And then the guy's being a curious jackass in the dark in a slasher movie towards the end of
Oh
it.
yeah, and you can't even see shit.
That's when he gets pitchforked in the freaking neck. Awesome death.
Everything else so you can't see.
And then at the end of the garage scene, it's like the Mutilator's got like the medieval axe, like one that you'd get at one of those geek conventions.
That's something that your nerd friend would have.
No, he's got a
He had to
freaking.
show his ID that he was 21 to get
And
it.
every time you go over his apartment, he whips it out and tells you about how he got it at
when
that
he's
festival.
wasted, and you're like, dude, I've heard this story.
I know, and then he's like smoking a Marlboro Light and he doesn't ash it either, and it's like going like an inch long.
And you ask him for one, and he's like, dude.
Dude, I'm like, am I lucky? And no, the Mutilator's wearing Nikes too. He's wearing
they
Nikes
show, like, the
with like
scene when he drops the freaking axe. And
He's like in
picking it
his
up, and He's got like white
mid-40s.
Nikes on, gray Nikes.
and then he gets stabbed by the Virgin, and
He represents.
he gets stabbed by the Virgin, his girlfriend,
Oh
who's
yeah,
annoying
she like
through the
picks
whole
up
movie.
a random like square knife that she pulls apart.
And then he comes back to life, and it's pretty dope. And they end up mutilating him. Like, him and his son never get to talk it out. He never even says one word, and they back up on him like he's a Terminator, and he's like gets his body like ripped in two, and he's like still alive, and he like hacks the freaking cop's arm off. It's pretty dope.
Pretty tight.
Nice soundtracks too. I'd say definitely 8 out of 10. It would have been awesome if they would have had any interesting dialogue. There's
I'd give
nothing.
it 7.5 out of 10 because of the filler and the
Yeah, I know.
stupid comedy.
You almost
crap
can't give it
throughout
an 8 because of that so much boring.
Dull air, scriptness.
Just the beach at night, and there's like no lighting system at all. They just use the moonlight as lighting
Tell
system.
us what you thought of the movie. Give us your
This is
comments.
JBM and L-Mid.